I have a sketch that I've done, and I'll run the recording of the sketch, which I have right here, preview the time lapse. I have a sketch that I've started up of a lion in a framework, and I'm going to have these circles. I'm going to have some floral foreground, some stars in the background. It's going to be a day-night scene because this is going to be a cloudy, sunny day scene. Here we go. So this is where I started. Let's see if we can bring that up a little bit closer for you to see as I draw and adjust the original sketch. I'm working on an iPad. I am using Adobe Fresco. There is a free version of Adobe Fresco, and you can do pretty much everything I'm doing tonight with the free version. Look around on the Adobe website for it. The main thing you need is a device that's got a stylus. And this is a stylus. An Apple Pencil is one type. Wacom has variable or various stylus and tablets, and there's a variety of phones. iPhone doesn't have a stylus, but I know there's some Androids that have stylus. I've had one in the past, and they work great for this kind of thing. So there we are, we're done with that. So I'm going to start out by creating an outline and setting up my layers, and then I'll kind of block in the paints on everything, and then I'll get into the details of it. So here we go. And I usually do a drawing in this format, but I want this to actually be my banner on my YouTube page. And there's a backstory on that I'll include later. So I've got a light blue background on there right now, and it's just so that I want to have a black, but the gray doesn't stand out when I do that. So we'll temporarily have it as a light blue, and then in front of that, we're going to have another layer, and it's going to be a background. I'm going to turn on my shape button. It's basically going to be the background of this frame. So I'm going to go to my pen layer. Just choose a black and draw around that. We'll end up with, do I have the symmetry button on? Let's see. I do. Let me undo that. Okay, so part of what's going on here is I had the symmetry button on, but I did not have my square, as you can see here, centered on the symmetry line. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to move the square. Seems to want to snap. Let me see if I can turn the snaps off. Snapping. Turning the snapping off, and hopefully, no, it's still snapping. Let's go way up here. We'll get it centered and then move these where we want them. Okay, now I should be able to draw a box around there that's, I'm going to erase whatever I had drawn before on that. I'm on this layer. I'm going to add my black pen, which is a vector line. And I'm going to add another layer above that. Do the same thing. And then I am going to reduce the size of this square to get the inside of the frame. So I want it to go back to that center of the symmetry button. I'm going to go up a tiny bit higher with that. There we go. And we'll draw another box around that. Let's turn that off for a minute and see what's going on here. If I turn off my sketch, because I've got, okay, that's good. The sketch is, it's a little bit confusing because I've got lines on the sketch. So I think what I'll do is go on that sketch layer and bring that opacity way down so that I can just focus on the frame for the moment. So this is a background, frame. And I do want to have the symmetry button still on. Let's see here. Yes. So I've just created, by using that symmetry button, it's doing it on both sides, which is great. I'm going to do similar here. Let's see, how do I want to do that? Bring this line like that. Make it smooth. Okay, so we've got some ornate crafting going on there around the edge of the frame. And so we'll just leave that for this layer. And then we're going to move to, the lion layer. So one of the things that'll happen on the frame is I'm going to end up building the whole frame, and there'll be a conflict here, right here where the paw comes over. And I'll either have to do a separate layer that's just the paw, or I'll have to erase away the frame. Either way, it works fine. I've done it both ways. So I think I'm going to go right into drawing on this layer. Oh no, that's the, let's go on this layer. Go back to our pen. And I'm tempted, I'm looking at a reference here. I'm tempted to use a dark orange color. I'm going to double check the comments, see if oh, we've got a couple people have said hello. Lincoln, hello. Clicks, hello. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will check back with you all in a moment or two, see if you're still here. So I think I'm going to go with a darker color to outline the lion, a dark gold. I tend to like something in it there. Okay. That looks a little orange. I want it to look a little more gold, so let's bring it down here. There we go. Oh my, still the symmetry turned on. I'm going to have to start over now. I guess I could have just erased it, but we'll just start over. I like it to be a nice clean. So again, we've got the tail that will end up going over the top here. And the frame will interfere with it, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to get the shapes figured out for painting. I'm also thinking maybe I'll put the lion. Let me grab that and move him a little bit. He can be tucked inside. We'll let the tail be the only thing that comes out of the frame. Done. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I just learned I'm on the same layer. So I'm going to choose. This is actually great because it deselect. It's trying to select everything. Cannot select. Okay, right. I just want to deselect. Thank you very much. I'm going to go back to that layer. I'm just going to try and grab the orange. There it is. And I'm going to erase it. I'm doing more erasing on this drawing than I ever have done, especially when I first start up. So let me check the comments real quick. Okay. I will be back. And we'll get another layer going here. So we'll deselect that. And we don't want to be on that. I'm going to move this layer down and this layer down. We're not going to do anything with these layers, and I'll go ahead and I just want to lock them. Show me the lock. Lock that layer group. Okay. There, now I can't goof up on that again. Okay, so there is, we'll lock this one too. I've moved it up. I'm going to lock, it says lock the transparency layer. It says, I'm going to lock the layer is what I want to do. Okay, and we'll go up here to where we're going to work again with this dark goldy brown and start drawing the lion with a pen. Now I'm going to switch to a smooth line here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and tell it not to paint in this eye area when I paint everything else in. And not to paint in this nose area. Let me try that again. Okay, we're going to keep going with sketching, and I'm going to stay on this layer. Eventually, I'm going to put the frame in front, so I'm not going to worry too much about that line right now. It's just going to be filled up with hair. Okay, just checking the comments. Hi, Kevin. The program does not help keep my hand steady. That was the question. Does the program help keep my hand steady? It does not, and the screen is a little bit of a challenge and a little bit hard to get used to because it's quite slippery. And then I also have to like hold my hand back so that you can see what I'm drawing. It becomes it's kind of a challenge to do this on an iPad live because of those very things. Great question. Thanks for that question. We'll go back here and get this paw. Okay, it's starting to look like we are going to get closer to drawing this lion, painting him in. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with some light, just blocking in some light colors with the bucket right on this layer that I'm on right here. And I'm going to go with a very light version of this. Oops. And then I think I'll go with the, actually I'm not going to go with a full-on dark gray, black. I'm going to go with a gray because I'm going to do shadows and highlights. And if the paint ends up mixing, same here for that one. And here we'll just paint over these, but that's where we're going to go to start with. Okay. I am going to duplicate this layer in case I mess things up. And then I'm going to add a layer on top here. And I think I'm going to start with my watercolors. That's really big. We won't go quite that big. And we're going to go to the family of colors where we were before. So it's on a completely different layer, but I am going to blend it down in a second. But first I'm going to start just by laying down some watercolor. And I'll go a lot thinner over here. Okay, so we'll do a little here. I am gonna blend, I'm going to merge this layer down. And now what's gonna happen, I turned those vector lines into pixel lines. And, oh, thanks for the compliment, Kevin. He's saying I have good skills, good brush skills. It does come, I mean, it helps when I was yeah, so this is really gonna blend here, and that's okay. It really helps when I was in college, and I've said it before, you'll hear me say it again. I had a professor who just said, put the line down. Instead of being super sketchy with my lines, they just said, get it down, get the line down on the paper. Okay, so this is going to have a much more painterly look now, which is lovely. Just the kind of thing I'm going for. You can kind of watch those colors blend. It's so nice. I love it. I'm going to not do that right there. Well, it wants to go along that whole line. I'll have to bring that definition out again. By doing it on another layer, probably. So this is the part I kind of love, is that I'm just going to make those blend right along the edge of that tail. And we might as well create the larger tail here. I'll go a little bit bigger, maybe a little golder. There we go. And then I think I'm going to go back to this layer here and duplicate it again, because I'm going to go in here and I'm going to choose an area. I just want the main area to start with, and I'm going to take a rake. So let's see. I want to be on, I think I want to be on my paint layer right here. It's still selecting the area that I want. I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to find a nice rake. Change my color to dark. Ask for the different paint brushes. There's a rake. Big rake. Ah, yes. I don't know if you can totally see that. Let me check my comments here. Yes, Maxfield Parrish would be the right era. I am thinking Art Nouveau for this drawing. The blue background has Kevin Mack thinking of Maxfield Parrish. Whoops, go away. I love Maxfield Parrish. I have one of his books, I think, on my cupboard in here, in my bookshelf. I'll have to find that. I actually took a couple books out for inspiration tonight. One of them was Will Bradley, and I took him out because I want to think about those roses when I start doing the flower part, which I don't know if I'll do that tonight. I might just work on the lion. And another one that I have out is a book I pulled out of my cupboard is Alphonse Mucha, who did the Art Nouveau. He did a lot of Art Nouveau. And I pulled him out again for flowers. And just the overall feel, see the framework that he puts around his paintings. That's kind of what I'm after with this one. So I just pulled those out before I turned on the live so that I wouldn't have to go leave the live and go looking for inspiration. I just thought about it ahead of time. Thanks for bringing that Maxfield Parrish up. It reminded me to tell you that I was doing that. Now, I wonder if I go a little bit smaller and I go a little bit lighter, what's going to happen here? Okay, but I think maybe I'm going to go darker instead of lighter. I'm going to go really dark. And I'm going to go a little bigger. Now I'm going to go back to the brown and see if I can pull some of that back out. Now that light really shows up once you put a little bit of the black and the dark behind it. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Let me unselect that, deselect, so we can kind of get the feel without the lines. So that's nice. I can work the edges of that. I think I'll go back to the dark brown, and I'm going to go to let me just go to this textured rake and see what happens. I got to get back up on this layer. What's happening? I can't see it anywhere. Very interesting. Let me Let me just try watercolor. Okay, watercolor works. So what's going on here with this rake brush? The rake maybe needs to be bigger it needs to be bigger to be seen. And then it's too big. Okay, so that's not the right brush for us. I may end up just going with a pencil to rework these edges. Let's see what, yeah, this is a little wild. Let me go to we're gonna go to a charcoal. Let's look at a vine charcoal. And I'm gonna go back and get rid of those. The vine charcoal is too soft. I know if I go to a pencil, it's going to be fine. I just like to play around with these other buttons, these other charcoal pencil variant. Let's see what that is. How does that look? Oh, that looks interesting. Is that what I'm after? Not really. All right, I give. Let's go to a pencil. Okay, that's looking like similar to the rake lines. I can handle that. I'm going to come back in a minute. I just want to get down this whole edge with this line. I'm going to come back and we'll pick those dark and light colors up too. Okay, so let's just go here. I just want to work this edge and see how it looks, because I can always come back. Go to that nice dark brown. I like this right here. How does that? That's carrying nicely from far away. Checking my comments. Okay, so I have to get on top of the drawing a little, on top of the pressure on the end of this pencil right here. The very end of it does a different kind of a line. It's actually doing the kind of line I really want. But if I go like this and I start, you're never going to be able to see what I'm doing. So I have to hold the pen way back here. This is like so stretching my skills. I love it. I would not normally hold the pen that far away to draw. That is so awesome. I love a challenge. Okay, we're getting back over to where I had done this work before with the black pencil, or the dark brown, I should say. Awesome. And I'm going to go back to that dark brown and bring it up here just a little bit. Oh, you know what I didn't put in here was an ear. I'm going to have to put an ear in there. To think about how that's going to work. I mean, I think some of the hair goes over the top of the ear, so we'll just like kind of erase an area in here. Or what happens if, oh, perfect. Okay, where exactly do I want this ear? Let's say right about there. Okay, cool, we've got an ear. And we have another ear over here. It's not going to be as obvious. Okay, and I'll rework those a little bit when I'm painting the rest. I just wanted to get this mane sorted out right away because I just felt like, how is that mane going to work? How do I solve that? I need to solve that like right away. Okay, we're going to blend here a little bit too. Thanks everybody who's hanging in here, who's joined me or sticking around. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm up here. Okay. Now I might go ahead and add a layer right in between this layer and this base layer and do a little more shading and painting, but I don't really want to smudge these lines, these pencil lines and rake lines. So I think what I'm going to do is paint from underneath. Well, let's add some gold. Let's do some highlight here. And we'll get some going on here on the nose. Let's see here. Maybe I need to paint from the top. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. Mm-hmm. There we go. Oh, we're going to have to do the whole rake thing over here on this tail too. I'm going to have to create an outline for that, which shouldn't be too hard to do. Okay. Let me go catch that part up before I get too far away from that. And I think we'll do that by choosing that pencil. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to pick my pencil up once so that the line is continuous. I don't care how messy it is, really. Okay, and then hopefully when I hit the magic wand and choose that, oh, it didn't really work. Okay, deselect. How about if I choose here? There, it did. It selected just that area. That's what I want. So first thing I'll do is I'll do a little bit of shading with the paint. We'll put a little bit of body right there in the middle. And then we're going to go to the rake. And we'll do the medium color first. Let's see here. What layer am I on? I'm on the layer I want to be on. Let's see what our rake size is. Oh, I don't have the rake chosen, that's why. Rake. I don't know if I like that as much. Let me try that again, smaller. Sometimes when you do them small, they just disappear. Oh, this one's going to be okay, I guess. Maybe. I have to go up here and I have to, think I need to blend those colors down, merge down. Okay, now let's try it. Oh, there we go. It was like it was not going over the yellow the way I wanted it to. Okay, now I think I will, actually I'm going to switch to the yellow, deselect, and I'm going to do a little freehand here, nothing hanging around the edges. Oh, whoops, that was his ear. Did I go over that before? I did. I'm going to have to erase it again. No problem. Now we've got a little bit of those golds working in there. And then I think I'm going to actually take a white now. I'm going to do a white rake. Yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Checking the comments. Yeah, that's good. Kevin says, okay, I'm going to read this, Kevin. Looks good from a distance as I watch a phone screen of a live stream of an iPad screen that is being transmitted via satellite around the world. Amazing. Isn't it? Isn't it just amazing? Yeah, the rake feature is a little bit like a Zen garden. Yeah, I've never had one of those Zen garden tools. I have had other people have had them and I've played with them. Okay, that's looking good. Then I know we're gonna do a bunch coming off from his chin. And then we'll go back with the color that is the underpaint. We don't want the white to be too strong. That's good. I like that. And I think we might go in now with, go back here and do another layer. I'm going to take a white watercolor and see what happens if I go up here. Ah, I can't go on that layer. Can't go on that layer. It's going to end up really messing with that. I'll put another layer above it. Okay. I think I need to work on those eyes because, and I'm probably going to have to do a quick reference here on whether a lion's eyes are round, the pupils are round, or if they are, I don't think, I think they are round. So lion's eye pupil. Okay, they're round images. Let me look at various images. So the pupil's pretty small inside of, on all of these images, the pupil is pretty small. Interesting. Okay, so here we go. I will merge this down, and then I'm going to add a layer underneath, and I'm going to erase the eye here so that we can see what's going on underneath. Oh yeah, I'm going to go there, erase this. Oh, interesting. That's here. It's underneath everything. Okay, so I'm just going to have to paint on top of it. I can do that. Oh, I know. Here we go. We're just going to fill this in with white. Doesn't want to let me fill it in. How about here? I don't want to do that. Live. This is live. Which means that sometimes the artist kind of goofs up a little bit. Okay, what I'm going to do is right here, I am going to move this layer on top. I am going to make my black outline of the eye because I do know I want to have a black outline. And underneath, and I'll do that for both of these guys. Just a shadow line there. Okay. Now underneath of those, that's where I'm going to do my eyes. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go right here. And I'm going to put in a black pupil. Actually, I think I'm going to do that on this one. Not too big. There we go. No. How do I want that eye? Right there. That's it. Right there. Okay, so it's going a little beyond. So what I'm going to do now is I'm on this layer right here. I can go ahead and I can erase where it went outside. I can also put that one below and merge. I'm going to merge those. I'm going to merge all those paint layers. Excuse me. I'll try Conti Grand because why not? And we'll go with this. It's a little wide. Yeah, it's a little hard to control too. Let's go back and find a rough pencil. Wow, it's like going so big. You're really seeing like pixel painting right now. It really is like pixel painting. So this is on top of this. So this can be pretty messy because this is kind of trimming it all out. I might do a little cleanup right. Oops, too much cleanup. Okay. Oh, so Kevin Mack says, I really love stained glass, really enjoy Fiora di Como, the glass sculpture that hangs from the ceilings of the in Bellagio's lobby. So yeah, interesting. I haven't seen that piece. I've studied a lot of stained glass. I worked in a stained glass shop up in Anchorage, Alaska years ago, and it was a really fun experience. We got to do work for private homes. We did a church. We did, let's see, I had a school commission. So we did a library. We did, what else did we do? Oh, there was kind of a chapel in a hospital. Yeah, it was really fun. Okay. So that's it. I'm going to go back here to this eye and I'm going to start. Oh, Oh, wow. I actually kind of like the smudged look. I'm going to smudge these a little bit. And then I think I'm going to clean them up around the edges. Oh, that makes it nice and interesting. I love it. Yes. We'll go back to a pencil. We'll add some white. We'll add a little pink, because why not? Okay. And then I'm actually quite tempted to paint this layer that really dark brown. So let me do a bucket fill on that. We'll go to this brown. And merge those down to the layer below. So they become a paint layer too. They're a pixel layer now. And then I can find a nice dark color and start, oops, I didn't want a bucket fill. Stop it. I wanted to pencil. Excuse me. I'm still getting over my cold that I had caught last week. Put me down most of last weekend. I didn't come on much because I just sounded terrible. I didn't want people to have to listen to me cough. Oh, it was a bad cold. Well, now I've got a little tickle in my throat. Hopefully some water will help that. All right, there, that's looking good. He looks quite liony. I think those eyes just need to be a little more yellow, though. Let's do it. Yeah. Then I think I'm going to go here and we're going to go with a little bit bigger pencil. Oops, too big. Let's find a nice happy medium there. And Oops. I think I want to do a little more detail around these eyes. Let's put a little more shape around them, because we've got all this stuff happening here. I like that. Well, this is interesting putting this. So I've got a rough pencil on top of wet paint is what's happening, and it's working really well. I really like the marks I'm getting. Like, how are those any different than any of the other marks? They are just a little different. And they certainly go on easier. I think the feel that I'm getting is what's speaking to me. Okay. We can get rid of some of that fuzziness over here. All right. Let's do a little bit of that over here. Okay. And I think I'm going to go grab a little bit of that. First, I'll grab the really light. And then I'll grab a little yellow and a little white. I wonder if I could just blend it, but not too much, just a little. Yes, there we go. Got a little too, I like that. That looks good. It looks like paint now. Thank you. I'm not going to mess with that. I kind of like how all this is looking. I want to add some shine to his nose, though. So I might come back in here with that white. Not too much. I don't think I need that. All right. Okay, I'm going to go back to the rake and see how this will work on wet paint. I was using it on top of dry before. So let me go back to the rake. do the rake with gaps. Oh, it's way too big. Wrong color. We just want the same color. Way too big. Okay, that works for me. That's because it looks like hair, and that's what I'm going for. I need something to blend this dark and this dark into the painted areas. And the painted areas, see what direction do I want my hair to go. So I want it to go off the nose this way, up the eyes this way. Now I'll go back in with that a little bit darker, not that dark. Okay, I like it. Uh-oh. I painted over that ear again. It may be that that ear isn't going to show. I keep painting over it. Maybe there's a reason. Okay, so now I'm sort of feeling like I can just keep going on this fur here. So So I'm up here on this layer where his face is. And I'm going to go back to my rake and add some fur to these lovely paws. I think I'll go back. I'm just going to get it on, get it down, get it on there. And then I'm going to come back and erase a bit around. Kind of feel like I want this layer, this next hair layer to be behind that hair layer. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I'll merge them. Where am I? Oh. Okay. Doesn't feel like it's behind it. It feels like it's on top of it. So what if I go, no, it's got to be there. It's okay. I'll make this work. I have a different way of making it work. We'll just get the hair on, get it on. And I'm going to go back in with a dark. So you can see a little more what's going on there. Okay. I'm going to do this as a whole different layer on top. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, before I stop on this one, I'm going to go real dark right in here. The shadow is, and then I'll do a little erasing. Okay, let's go back up to this layer. Liked that rough pencil. I'm going to go back to that rough pencil. And what color do we want? Let's just create some definition here. Too dark. There we go. Okay, this little paw is hidden a little bit behind the others. And let's put a nice black claw. And what happens if we put a little gray in that claw? Okay. And then we blend it a little bit. Perfect. Love it. Gonna check the comments. Oh, low battery. So we're working on this lion just to get back off from it a little bit so you can see how it's coming out. And I'm just going to do a quick share. Copy the link. Thanks for stopping by, Kevin. I saw that, and happy to have all your comments. They're always very interesting. Oh, there we go. We'll just blend this right in with the gray that's already here. Perfect. And the brown. I like it. Okay, so we're working on a lion. It's going to be a banner page, and I'm just doing the claws at the moment, and I'm going to switch up in a second and work on the frame. Oops. Blend that in. Do a couple more and then move on to the frame. I think I'm going to need a little bit of that gray again on that one and here. And then a little blending. Okay. So I think I locked way in the beginning. I think I locked all these layers here, and I'm going to unlock them. And Whoops. Come on. Let me unlock it. Layer group. Unlock the layer group. Ungroup the layers. Thank you very much. Okay, so first of all, we're going to put a different color behind here. I'm going to put a gold actually behind here because this is going to be backlit sun and clouds with backlit by the sun. And then on the outside is where I'm going to do the night sky with the flowers on the foreground. And I'm going to have to play around with, okay, here, we're going to just make something simpler here. I am about to merge all of these layers and then duplicate them. Merge layers in group. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm just going to lock it just so that I have and make it disappear. There we go. I just need a backup. So I've got my backup now. And thanks so much for joining, everybody that has come by. I've had so many visitors tonight. Okay, wrong. We want to go to this one right here. There we go. Then we're going to go here and we're going to work on the frame. And I'm going to make it a nice dark brown wooden frame. Oh, interesting. I've got some gaps here in the in the lines. So let me fill those gaps in first of all. So I'm going to need a black. I need to be on this layer. I need a regular. I think that's one place where my gap is. And I think I've got gaps over here too. Okay, now we're going to try and fill that frame. Yay! A little dark though. Let's go back over to this. I want it to look different than the lion. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. turn this sketch invisible there. That cleans up the whole thing quite a bit, as you don't have my sketchy lines over the top anymore. Now I really have to decide how I feel about this frame and how the lines are working on it. I think it's actually okay. I'm going to go with just a slightly lighter shade. And start painting here. Sorry, I got a little out of the frame on that one. Appreciate the people stopping by. I'm going to reverse that. I want to thank everybody who stopped by and anyone who is in here watching. I just want to tell you how I appreciate it, and I'm trying to grow my channel, and it would be really helpful to me if you subscribe to my channel, so that when I come on here live, you'll get a little notification. You can kind of keep track of what's happening on my channel and see what's new. Really appreciate it. I appreciate the thumbs up on these. I'm going to go and turn on my symmetry button. And we'll do some very even symmetrical details on the frame, so it looks a little more ornate. Okay, so just making sure I'm ready to go. Here we go. I think I'm going to go even bigger with this just to make it super quick. Okay, now we have a nice ornate frame. Let's turn the lion back on. Excuse me. I don't think I need any of these other layers on. Maybe just to be safe. Okay, now I think I'm going to start adding some clouds in the background. And I may have to, well, we'll just go for it. Okay. So I think I'm going to start with the lightest color and then work to the darker color on top. Oops, I don't want the symmetry button on. Let me take that and turn it off. Turn it off. There we go. Oh, where are we? What layer are we on? Okay. We want to be on this layer, but what I want to do is I want to select that block of color and paint on top of it without it going outside of the lines. So we'll go back to my paintbrush. Okay, I'm going to make this watercolor line a little bit more narrow, and I'm going to go down to more of that yellow color that was in the background. I'm going to do that on the top parts of the clouds. Then I'm going to switch over to a gray. Start blending it in. Kind of like how the dark spills over there and looks like a different kind of a cloud. That's kind of cool. Then I'm going to come back in with like an aqua bluish for those clouds. I'll go pretty small to add this. See if we can really get some blue shades in those clouds. Ooh, I like it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I love seeing people visiting. I check the comments if you want to leave. If you want to leave a comment, I check it every once in a while, and sometimes I catch people when they're still here and we actually chat back and forth. Totally not required though. Oh, I like the blue. That's nice. Okay, now I'm going to go back with a white, and I might go on top. Oops. Plus, go right there. We'll leave that corner dark. And then maybe we'll just add in a little tiny bit of pink. Just a little bit of pink. Go back to the white. The pink was a little, it needs to blend more if we're going to do it at all. I actually don't like the pink. Let me take it out. I can do that. That's one of the coolest things about this program is you can hit the undo. Okay, so I'll go ahead and merge that white down. I'm going to do a little bit of blending here and there in the clouds. That's looking good. Okay, so now we get to play around with what happens if behind this I'm going to change this color by using the bucket fill. Put it up here where you can see it really well. And I'll bucket fill with white. Well, that's kind of interesting. Let's bucket fill with like a bright blue. That's pretty interesting too. Not the orange. Not the red. I think not the black because I'm going to do black outside. I think I'm going to go back to either some version of a yellow sky. I could maybe go to, I could maybe try a light pink sky. Nope, the yellow is the best so far. Let's see if we go a little bit milder on that yellow. There we go. There it is. Okay, so we will need to have some dark in front here, a darker layer at the bottom. So I think what I'm going to do is just take a nice big fat brush. I'm going to put in a nice charcoal gray in a really wide swath at the bottom. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to deselect. I'm going to go to this background layer, and I'm going to get a feel for what it's going to look like when we surround the whole thing with black. That is, and then it's not really going to be black. It's going to be kind of a night sky with floral in the foreground and some stars and clouds in the background. But it gives you an idea of where I'm going. And I think that may be where we'll conclude for the evening. And I really want to thank you all for stopping by. I will finish this either tomorrow. Actually, let me give you, I'm going to show you a couple things before I leave. I'll show you a preview of tomorrow. I'm going to show you this. Most people know about this, but not everybody knows about it. This program has this really great feature where it records every single thing that I do, and then it turns it into a little video that you can watch. So I'm going to let that happen here in a minute. It shouldn't take too long. We haven't been on here too awfully long. But I will show you a preview of what I'm, if it takes too much longer, I'll stop doing this. It usually doesn't take this long. Interesting. Let me plug it in. Maybe the batteries. No, battery's at 57. So it shouldn't be. It's just taking a little while to do that little video to show you what we've done tonight. Not the norm. Let me stop this document. Stop. Oh, there it is. Let's see if it's going to show. Yeah, so I'll bring it up here where you can see it a little better. This is the drawing process that happened tonight. And pretty soon we'll get this all sorted out with a frame around it. And then we'll start seeing some colors show up pretty soon. So I started this drawing after work. I got here 6 o'clock my time, and I ate dinner, and then I started this live, and I hadn't pre-drawn before tonight. So I didn't actually turn the live on until I had the sketch figured out. And then I turned the live on and I started doing the heavier lines on top, and then all the color happened after the live, and I had to figure out exactly what kind of brushes to use live, which always is challenging. I really appreciate everybody stopping by and checking this out. And so pretty soon we're going to be done with this, and I'm going to show you the sketch that we're going to work on tomorrow. And the one that I'm doing tomorrow, it's a woman with a cat. And there's nothing political about that, by the way. It's just a woman with a cat. And okay, so I'm done with that. Let me give you a preview. Here's a close-up of our lion we did. He's looking pretty good. Saving that. And this is what I'm going to work on tomorrow. I pre-sketched this earlier this week. It's just a young woman holding a cat, and I'm going to do this in a couple different styles. I'll probably just do one style tomorrow, probably either a steampunk, or I might do it with a Celtic genre, or just a cyber. I could do a cyber scene, a cyber art scene, which is sort of a neon looking, maybe with a city background. I'm not sure which style I'm going to work on tomorrow, but this is the underlying drawing that I'm going to work on tomorrow. So feel free to join me in the morning. Really appreciate everybody coming by. Thank you so much, and I'm going to sign off for the night. Okay, bye-bye.